Well, good morning. I'm going to share something this morning that I think applies to many other things, but I'm going to concentrate on a Canadian identity, the Canadian silent majority, and a symbol. But I tried to cover it in my prompts, and it's hard in the script, right, to cover everything, but I feel that it seems to be an archetype, like the French tricolor, or the pink hats, or the gilets jaunes, the yellow vests. They're symbols that the silent majority tends to use. And in this case, I find the poppy no longer is a symbol of conformity, of even remembrance. It's now become a symbol of what we hold to be true as Canadians. And so on that note, here's my script about identity, both Canadian and human, what we hold to be true. And, well, I've always said this for a long time. I believe it's natural for us to be so binary, in a sense, or even trinary. There's the majority in the middle being pushed either left or right by these extremists on either end. And I think that's natural. It's meant to push most of us, the lazy majority, into a position of, well, right? What is that old expression? If you don't have, I can't remember it. It's that expression of if you don't take a stance, then you'll either be bowled over or one will be given to you. But on that note, here's my script on the poppy. Okay. The poppy and the silent majority in Canada. Well, opening shot is a close-up of a poppy pin, slowly zooming out to show different people wearing poppies in everyday settings on jackets, backpacks, and hats. Canada has always had a quiet strength, a kind of respectful reserve. We've been known as people who don't easily voice our discontent, but what if there's a change underway, one so subtle that most of us might miss it? I believe there's a shift happening, and it's showing up in a way many of us take for granted, right here, with the poppy. Cut to a montage of Canadians of all ages wearing poppies, standing on city streets and parks and by memorials. In recent years, wearing the poppy on Remembrance Day had faded a bit. For some, it became controversial. It was politicized, linked to complex ideas about war, identity, and even accusations of nationalism or divisiveness. For a while, fewer people wore it, and maybe it seemed like it could go away. Brief pause, screen shows an older man adjusting his poppy on his coat. But now, there's something remarkable. Something remarkable is happening. The poppy is making a quiet comeback. And not just on jackets or for a single day. More and more Canadians are wearing their poppies on everything. Jackets, shirts, hats, backpacks. They're visible, prominent, worn with pride by people across the country. Cut to a variety of Canadians being interviewed on the street, each talking briefly about why they wear the poppy. Maybe we're seeing something deeper here. Could this resurgence in poppy wearing be a signal from the silent majority? A reassertion of values that many Canadians feel have been overlooked or challenged in recent years. Screen displays the phrase, the silent majority, a Canadian awakening? In Canada, many of us are feeling out of place with what we see on the news or what we don't see on the news. We hear labels thrown around, extremist, far right, radical left. It's hard to find where our values fit, but the values we hold dear, unity, tolerance, and respect. These aren't about politics. They're about identity. And maybe, just maybe, the poppy is a symbol of that identity. Something we're re-embracing in a quiet stand for the Canada we believe in. The screen displays a question. Is the poppy a symbol for Canada's true values, our core values? Can it be? Now, here's where I need you, the audience. Think about what the poppy represents for you, or a symbol, a MAGA hat, or a blue pin, or even a voted pin. I ask you what this represents for you, this small symbol. When you see someone wearing it, what message does it send? We want to hear from people, Canadians and people of all ilks, across the country and across the continents. In a way, we're conducting an informal distributed survey to get a feel for how people are interpreting the resurgence of this symbol. Is it a resurgence? Is it a return to traditional values? A pushback against current divisions? Or something else entirely? To get involved, take a note of who's wearing the poppy. Talk to your friends, family, or even strangers. Take photos, write down observations, and share stories. Ask yourself and others, is the poppy simply a mark of remembrance? Or is it becoming something more? A way for Canadians to quietly but firmly express our values. Are we seeing the silent majority stand up in a way we haven't seen before? So let's think of this as a way to understand where the silent majority stands. A Canadian Overton window, if you will. By observing, discussing, and sharing, we're capturing the shift. Perhaps a return to values that have always defined us as Canadians. So let's find out together. Is this just a symbol of remembrance, or is it something more? A signal that Canadians, in our quiet way, are standing up for what we believe in. Share your voice. Let's discover, let's rediscover Canada's silent majority, and let's work together to, not to find, but discover our true identity. The mythos that is Canadian.